The House, controlled by Trump's own party, just formally rejected the core of his economic agenda. That's never happened before, not on immigration, not on taxes, nothing. Today, we peel back the layers of a geopolitical earthquake. Washington is reeling as a coalition of Democrats and key Republicans just sent a clear message to the White House. The message? Canada is not the enemy. This was a direct challenge to the administration's border security tariff doctrine. The final tally, 219 to 211, a narrow margin but a monumental one. This wasn't just a procedural vote, it was a blockade. It was a blockade against the 25% tariff threat that has hung over the 49th parallel like a guillotine. The tension on the floor was palpable. The floor of the House was a cauldron of tension as the numbers climbed, sealing the fate of Trump's most aggressive trade weapon. 6 Republicans. That's all it took to break the dam. These 6 individuals didn't just vote against a policy, they voted against their party leader. From agricultural heartlands to manufacturing hubs, these 6 represent districts where the word tariff is synonymous with economic suicide. They chose their constituents over loyalty to the Mar-a-Lago mandate, and the fallout was instantaneous. Trump's response was swift and scorching. Within minutes, Truth Social was ablaze with warnings of political retribution. The threat is clear: any Republican who crosses the line on trade will face the full weight of the MAGA movement in the next election cycle. It's an all-out civil war for the soul of the GOP's economic platform. A battle between populism and traditional trade stability. But this isn't just about politics, it's about power. Specifically, the power granted by Article 1 of the Constitution. The Constitution grants Congress, not the President, the sole power to regulate commerce with foreign nations. Today, the House reasserted that authority. For decades, that power has drifted toward the Oval Office. This vote was a line in the sand against that executive creep. The administration argued that a national emergency gave them a blank check for economic warfare. The House just tore up that check. The administration linked the flow of synthetic opioids to the lack of Canadian border enforcement. While the crisis is real, the solution is disputed. A majority of the House now argues that taxing Canadian lumber and auto parts won't stop a single gram of fentanyl from crossing the border. The collateral damage would have been catastrophic. We are talking about the lifeblood of the North American economy. American farmers, already struggling with rising input costs, face the prospect of retaliatory tariffs on everything from soy to corn. Factories in Michigan and Ohio, tied inextricably to the Canadian supply chain, warned of immediate layoffs if the tariffs went through. The Congressional Budget Office provided the final nail in the coffin. Their analysis projected a staggering cost to the American consumer: billions of dollars in higher prices for everyday goods. The CBO's cold, hard numbers provided the political cover needed for the GOP to step away. Now the pressure shifts to the Senate. The cracks in the Republican monolith are widening across both chambers of Congress. Key figures are signaling their own skepticism. This isn't just a House revolt, it's a bicameral reckoning that the White House didn't see coming. The Senate leadership knows that a trade war with our largest trading partner is a losing hand. The economic reality is simply too large to ignore. Make no mistake, we are in uncharted territory. The House has formally rejected the core of Donald Trump's economic agenda. The shield has been pierced. As the smoke clears, one question remains. Is this a one-time rebellion or the beginning of a new era in Washington? Now Democrats have cracked the code, unlocking the procedure to force tariff votes. Next up, Trump's tariffs on Mexico and his so-called Liberation Day tariffs. Each vote will push more Republicans to choose between Trump and their voters, and each one will bring more defections. It also shakes global trade talks. Canada and Mexico now see Trump's tariff threats no longer have full GOP backing, weakening his bargaining power big time. This shift is monumental for the 2026 USMCA review cycle. Republican pressure to end the tariffs is only going to grow. The longer they stay, the more GOP members will break ranks. From Ottawa's view, Wednesday's vote was proof their strategy is working. It's a game of political chicken. Mark Carney had warned for a year that Trump's tariff plan would collapse under its own contradictions. That once American farmers, workers, and businesses felt the pain, Republicans would have to choose between Trump and their voters. And he was right, mostly. 6 Republicans breaking with Trump isn't a majority, but it's 6 more than anyone expected a year ago. This indicates a fundamental shift in party discipline. Canada's approach was simple: take the hit, strike back with targeted retaliation, and wait for US political pressure to build. They are targeting states that Trump needs most in 2028. Canada's approach was simple: take the hit, strike back with targeted retaliation, and wait for US political pressure to build. They are targeting states that Trump needs most in 2028. They hit products from Trump-leaning states, encouraged boycotts of American goods, and shifted supply chains away from US suppliers, all to spark dissent inside America. The ripple effects are permanent. Now that dissent is visible. The longer the tariffs last, the more that pressure mounts. Carney doesn't need Congress to override Trump's veto. He just needs Republicans to keep defecting. Every defection is a strategic win for Ottawa, because every defection weakens Trump heading into new trade talks later this year. Every crack in the party is a gift to his opponents. It signals that his executive orders can be checked by his own base. The US-Mexico-Canada agreement comes up for review in 2026, where this trade war could finally end or explode again. The leverage established today will define the terms of that future negotiation. Canada will walk into those talks armed with proof that even Trump's own party is fracturing over tariffs. They have the data, they have the leverage, and now they have the procedural playbook. The House resolution now moves to the Senate, where it will pass with the same 4 Republicans, McConnell, Paul, Collins, and Murkowski, joining Democrats again. The Senate remains the final firewall for traditional trade. Then it'll land on Trump's desk. He'll veto it. The White House already said so. Trump won't budge, calling the Canada tariffs the cornerstone of his trade policy. He cannot afford to look weak to his base. If he gives in here, he loses leverage everywhere. But by vetoing his own party's vote, he creates a permanent record of the divide. This record will be used in every campaign ad against vulnerable Republicans. The House can't override that veto. 219 to 211 is far from 2/3. The tariffs will stay for now. But something bigger has changed. The aura of invincibility surrounding Trump's trade policy is gone. Democrats now have the playbook to force more votes. On Trump's Mexico tariffs, his Liberation Day tariffs on Europe, Asia, and Latin America. They will bleed the GOP dry with these procedural maneuvers. Each vote will corner Republicans, create more defections, and slowly chip away at Trump's power. It's a war of attrition where the casualties are GOP seats in November. This is a long-term strategy of erosion. Even if the tariffs don't fall yet, the politics already have. Republicans in swing districts now have an escape line. They can tell voters, "We tried, we voted against the tariffs. Trump vetoed, not our fault." This is their survival kit. And that cover matters in an election year when prices are high, exports are down, and voters remember exactly who caused it all. The economic pain is the ultimate political teacher, and the lesson is being learned daily at every checkout line. The pressure is building, and it's only going one way. More Republicans will break with Trump on tariffs, not fewer. The damage isn't fading, the prices aren't dropping, and Canada knows exactly how to use that leverage. The tariffs may still stand, but Trump's control over his party just cracked. This is the new reality of Washington trade politics. The shield has been pierced, and the fallout has only just begun. Subscribe to Canada Today 13 for more updates on this historic political breakdown. Join our community for deep dives into the geopolitics that define our world. Stay informed, stay ahead.